We're here on this February 19th, 2021 for another exciting Friday show. Today we're going to be speaking none other to the one and the only Jerome Robinson, a great guy, great dude. I've been talking a little bit about him and we've been working together for quite a few years. We're going to dig in a little bit for some of this martial arts wisdom, though. Should be a lot of fun. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, wherewith.com and Eastern Offset Printing for all they do for us as well. Want you to make sure that you check them out at wherewith.club, or you can give Eastern Offset Printing a call. They're out of North Carolina, Morehead City, North Carolina. Good people. They do great work as well. You know, any of your printing needs, just certainly give them a call. Like us at AK Promotions, guys, on our Facebook page, as well as Johnny Davis Live with 3 exclamation marks on YouTube. And by the way, kind of getting a little excited the other day. You know, I'm just going to take a minute before I bring on Jerome, but it was kind of really, really weird the other day to have over 20,000 views in 10 days on something I did, right? So that was kind of fun. And what it was is that I put up a little clip, and I'll show you what it is, in case some of you guys who might be watching the show who didn't see it. I was just on what I call banging, right? Kind of show you what it was. That was it. All right, but it was so much fun and doing it. And I know I can do better than that. But we have 20,000 people that, check that out on YouTube, and it is growing and growing. So I certainly do appreciate, the views and people, checking out the video, and a lot of people making comments as well, mostly favorable. Somewhere, you're still old, right? Of course, you're always going to get a little bit of that, kind of beating you down. I guess when you're doing something, if they don't talk a little junk about you, maybe you're not doing enough. How about that? Hey, also, guys, I want to remind everybody about the ICAF is a Spring Classic that's coming up. It's going to be a fantastic event coming up in, March the 19th through the 21st. It's going to be a great event, guys. A lot of fights for that weekend. And we have a lot more information on the website right now at akpromotions.org. For all you people who are training and you're getting ready, you want to make sure that you check out the updated information on the website about what's going on. The tickets will actually be going on sale on Monday. Some of them, weekend tickets, weekend passes, some tables that we're going to be selling. We're going to do a few of those for a few days, right, starting on Monday. So you certainly want to check that out, guys. The IKF Spring Eastern Muay Thai Kickboxing Classic. It will probably be the biggest event that we've had in this area. We want to welcome all the new clubs and gyms, into the tournament. Hopefully they will enjoy it and the way we do our event, the unique way that we do our tournament and everything. I hope you guys will certainly be a part of that. I just want to also remind everyone that the ICAP PKB tournament that's going on that Saturday morning. It's also registration is still open for that, but it's actually going pretty good. So we're going to be looking at maybe shutting that down in a few weeks as well. So, we just don't want too many for the PKB, but it's going to be great. We're going to give out some nice belts, some nice awards, and it's going to be going on that Saturday morning. At the same time, the full contact action is going on. So be sure to go ahead and get registered for that event for the PKB. The information is on the website at akpromotions.org, right? That is semi-contact, but the full contact again is paused right now because we just have enough fighters. The other thing I want to remind people, as of Monday, this coming Monday, we will be shutting down the opportunity to get in the U.S. title fight, right? The U.S. title fights that we're having after Monday. If we have no more contenders, everybody has a fight. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be some great, great fights. We have Jaden Reeves in there. We have Ronan Swenson, Tyrese Cunningham, Tommy Bamberg, Anna Toole, and Chelsea Maynard. Those guys, all of them be fighting for that United States certified title. It's going to be a great, great night, guys. On tomorrow, we will be in Florence, South Carolina for an ICAF PKB, and Sunday for another ICAF PKB tournament going on in Indian Trail, North Carolina. As you know, all of our events are COVID-19 protocols. All right, guys, without any further ado, we want to bring up the man of the hour here, the one and the only Jerome Robinson himself. How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Hey, man, doing good, doing good. Thanks so much for joining us today. And, want to chat a little bit. We kind of put the time up a little bit earlier and everything than we originally stated. But you know what? I wanted to go ahead and just kind of get it going because I have to get on the road too today. And I know you have a lot of things going on as well. Jerome, listen, we've been kind of working together for a minute there, and what, 5, 6 years now?
Yes, sir. About 5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years and everything. So we want to dig a little bit more on who Jerome is and all that. But one of the things I noticed about Jerome, right, with your gym and stuff like that, and it's really kind of impressive, is your relationship with kids, right? And, the way you inspire and you motivate them. And we can always find something about Jerome and his kids. Actually, I think the picture that I actually put up on yesterday was you with a bunch of the kids and everything. Why is working with kids so important to you?
I would definitely say the reason it's important for me is I remember when I was their age, a lot of the kids that I work with now, I remember how bad I wanted to train in martial arts. And I never actually took a formal martial arts class until I was like 18 or 19 years old.
Oh, really?
Wanting to do martial arts and watching the, Ninja Turtles, Karate Kid, Bruce Lee movies, and seeing guys. Sometimes I'd be in the grocery store with my mom and seeing kids with a uniform on and said, man, I want to do that. But at the time, it wasn't in the budget with the parents trying to hold down 5 kids in the house. So that was a lot going on. So
real talk.
Just be able to give them that opportunity, and knowing another thing that's really a passion of mine is knowing how it feels when someone bigger or stronger approaches you in the bathroom or the hallway and tells you to get out their way and whatever the case is and bully you, and you're defenseless. You don't know what to do. And if you try to do something, you're not going to win that situation. So I like to be able to empower others to be able to properly be able to defend themselves and not be occupied by fear.
So that's interesting. So were you bullied?
Oh, yeah.
Now listen, the Jerome that we're looking at today is not the Jerome that look, I don't even recognize. I don't even recognize you when I look at you. Saw some of those pictures of you when you were younger. I mean, you were skinny.
Yeah.
Didn't look all that confident.
Yeah, man. So I would say it probably the last time I remember it happened would be probably in middle school. But I can remember maybe about 3 or 4 instances. It didn't happen all the time because I guess I at some point I moved into the cool spectrum to where cool spectrum, you was a cool guy. People weren't trying to bully you, you were just cool. They were bullying other people. But I remember being young and being in a situation to where someone who's probably left back a grade or two and they're a lot bigger and stronger than you are, and they group up with a bunch of other guys and you're left defenseless. You're sitting there just hoping that the jokes and stop so you can move on with your life, you know what I'm saying? Versus knowing how to properly defend yourself or get out that situation,
So today, like I said, you're totally opposite than where you were physically as well. What was it about, your frame and your body at the time that made you want to, maybe bulk up a little bit and get in better shape, I guess?
I would say Slater off of Saved by the Bell.
Huh?
Remember the show Saved by the Bell?
I remember the show.
You don't remember Screech and Slater and Zach and all that? Slater was the dude with the muscles.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you were young and you watch shows like, Fresh Prince and the other guys, and you see guys, when you're 10 or 12, you see guys between 18 and 25, and they have they're still young, but they have that adult body. You're like, man, I can't wait to get older, man. I'm going to lift weights. I'm going to drink protein shakes or whatever the case is. I was always into firearms, even as a kid. I had the little snap guns and stuff like that. So I had no idea I was going to turn into a martial arts instructor, firearms instructor, self-defense instructor, but all of them just kind of tied in with what I was doing. So it just kind of worked for me, you know what I'm saying? And it's become a passion. Definitely remains a passion for me.
Right. So you've gone through this process. I'm curious today, when you're teaching your kids, what is your strategy now for teaching a kid confidence?
The biggest thing, because I can see a lot of times when the kids first come in with their parents, they're clinging to their leg, they're hiding their face. They're scared that, being that it's martial arts, or everybody calls it karate when they walk in, but going to karate class, they're scared they're going to get punched or kicked and start crying, and they're very fearful. And normally within the first couple of sessions to the first couple of weeks, my job and the job of my coaches is to make sure that we bring out the ability to have fun. Because if you make it too hard and too structured or too disciplined, they're not going to want to come back. You want to make it fun, but at the same time, even though I'm making it fun for them, I'm still putting them in realistic situations to help build up their confidence. And then when they first get out there and spar, that's a lot of times for them. Now you have some kids come out the gate 100 miles an hour sparring, but a
Right.
lot of times they're timid and they see this 6'2" guy and they're maybe 2 foot tall, so they're looking. I probably look like a giant to them. You know what I'm saying? But once they see me spar the other kids and the kids aren't getting hurt and they jump in and they start punching and kicking and their confidence just shoots through the ceiling because they're able to go out there, punch and kick a guy a lot bigger than them and not get in trouble and not get hurt. So that definitely builds up their confidence. And then on top of that, we also talk to the kids. So it's not all about just punching and kicking each other. A lot of times we'll talk to them before class or after class and tell them about the importance of, hey, don't let someone touch you, grab you, put you in a place that you're not supposed to be. Tell your parents, your pastor, your preacher, your teacher.
Right.
And it's all about making sure, even though if I'm teaching you martial arts and you're 7 years old, it doesn't mean that you can beat up everybody in the world. There's still going to be someone who's never taken martial arts before that can be your age or older who can outpower you. So you have to be able to think, not just rely on your physical ability.
Right. No, that's really interesting. So I'm going to reverse that for a moment. What is the biggest lesson that your kids have ever taught you?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I wasn't ready for that. So I will.
You're not going to be ready for a lot of these today, Jerome.
I'll honestly say that I tell my students all the time that they teach me. They teach me all the time. But when it comes to actually the biggest lesson, I really can't think of it right now because they teach me a lot. I'll be teaching in class. I'll be showing a technique. We'll be demonstrating something, and then someone will do something or say something that I've never thought of before, and I'll just flow with it and incorporate it into my training. But I can't really think of one. It happens all the time, so I can't think of one situation in particular that's happened. So
Right. So it's kind of like an ongoing learning process.
definitely.
If you will. So in the way you teach your kids, and you have a very diverse group of people there that you teach, in the climate that we're in today, and I always like to get into real talk, real solutions, right? In the climate that we have today, I don't know if you have any kids that you know for a fact that might be getting another message when it comes to different people, culture, race, etc. When they come to that class, are your instructions kind of like a counter action of that, or somehow are you kind of teaching an alternative, knowing that they're coming in with a certain mindset? Is it kind of like a goal of yours to try to change that mindset a little bit if you know they might be getting another message?
So the biggest thing is a lot of times you can see how someone looks at you, or you can feel their energy, especially when they first meet you because they don't know anything about you.
Right.
And they try to understand, well, who's this guy? Why is everybody like him? What makes this place so popular?
Right.
So you'll get the normally not so much from the student as you do the parent or the person that brought them, to kind of looking like, so what's this guy all about? So they're kind of sitting there with their arms crossed trying to figure out, what makes this guy so great. But a lot of times for me, I treat everyone exactly the same. So when they see that kind of, I'm not showing, even though I do have students I've been training for 8 years, I have students I've been training for 2 weeks. I treat all of them the same. If my student I've been training for 8 years is talking or chewing gum or not paying attention, I'm going to say his name just as loud as a student who has been coming for a couple months and he knows better. Now, if you just started and you don't know any better, we're gonna ease you into the process. But I remind these students of that too. I say, look, it doesn't matter if you're a white belt or you're a brown belt or 2-stripe blue belt, whatever it is, we're going to make sure that everyone is treated fairly, because if you're showing favoritism, the parents can see it, they can feel it. And then after a while, some of those looks and those reservations you can tell people have, that it seems like it just kind of come down, because they say, okay, well, everyone's being treated fairly, not just by me, but by my coaches as well,
Right. So you're basically being the example. You're living the example,
Definitely.
and put that in everyone. We've gone through this, or not gone through. We're in the middle still of a pandemic, and it's been really tough on a lot of people. What would you say the biggest lesson that you have learned about yourself during this pandemic?
I'd say for me is the ability to adjust. So
We're gonna get it back. There he is.
I definitely had to adjust and make sure that during the pandemic, especially, no one saw this coming, especially to the point of, hey, you have to close your business. That's unheard of for someone to say, hey, you got to close your business for a couple of months. So the ability to adjust and make sure that I was in daily communication with my clients, and I didn't get complacent. Even when I did have clients that were continuing to pay their membership, I didn't get complacent and just kick my feet up and watch TV and said, hey, well, I got clients that's still going to hold me down, so I don't have to do anything. I was still going out there hustling, doing everything I could, from Zoom classes to calling clients to texting them to keeping in touch, and showing me that even though I was used to going to the gym every day training people, I had to make an adjustment to make sure that financially the gym was okay, but mentally my clients were okay, because a lot of them count and look for me for leadership, somebody to talk to, and have a place to come in, because a lot of them say, that gym is therapy for them. So making sure that we can stay in business. But it was definitely an adjustment, and it continues to be an adjustment, but just taking it one day at a time.
Do you know what? Can you name an area where you think you got better in the COVID era? Because I think there were areas that I actually improved in.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name an area where you think you might have improved in?
I would say the first thing that I did to so I wouldn't have to, because everyone was calling and texting me the same question. So the first thing I did, which I've been putting off for years, I kept saying I need to create a Facebook group with all my clients,
right.
so I put the message out the one time and everybody can read it. And I never did it. I never got around to it.
Right.
So that was like the big light bulb. I was like, man, I better get on here and let people know what's going on. Hey, we're still in business. I still got my business license. Things are still okay for now. Let me go ahead and plug in and let them know that we have a plan in place to get open as quick as possible. So yeah, that definitely got me better communicate with all my clients at one time versus just waiting on them to ask me a question and then replying to it,
Right. But before I go into the next time, I want to. How is I don't know if you've seen him lately. The Dragon Fight Rome guy, is he doing okay?
He's good. He came by the gym last week and taught a class, and everyone he just pops up whenever he feels like it to teach the class, and then he's out.
You say that with such a straight face. I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that to myself. I should have known better.
You knew you were gonna crack up, man. Why you do that to yourself?
That fella really cracked me up, man. But you said it with such a straight face. Okay, all right. So you have a tournament coming up here in a few weeks here, March the 6th. Nightcap PKB and PBSC tournament. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with that.
So with our tournament on March the 6th, we're gonna have point kickboxing and point boxing. Each time we have our tournament, we definitely rely on social media a lot to advertise. We also, I make a list of all the gyms that came the last tournament plus additional gyms. I put together a list of about 20, 25 gyms, send each one of them an individual invitation to come out to the gym to support the event. And people have a blast, man. A lot of times I see new faces at the event, and when they're walking in, they're trying to figure out, well, why, if he has this boxing ring, why are we not in the boxing ring? Why are we on the floor?
Right.
What's about to happen? And then when they see those little 4 and 5-year-olds get out there and start banging, and they start laughing and cutting up and clapping, and the music's on, they're all in. So starting out getting everybody excited with the kids and working our way up in the age group, we always get a real nice turnout. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
Right. Should definitely be a lot of fun. So how overall though, I mean, I think we enjoy the PKBs there. But with the COVID protocols, how have they gone over at your event? I mean, are you having any issues with people who come?
They've been great. I have a firefighter, one of my clients at the gym. He actually works the front door. He does all the temperature checks for us. We make sure everyone has a mask. We have hand sanitation stations around. We don't pile the seats right on top of each other. We leave a gap in between all of them. And we've been blessed. The last couple of events that we've done, we've had a great number of fighters, good number of spectators, and people are listening because they know, even though COVID is real, they know at the same time they still want to have entertainment and enjoy their life, so they don't have a problem, using the sanitizer, putting on the mask, and staying separate as much as possible. So it's definitely worked out for us.
Right. I'm just keep looking. I keep leaving that picture there of the little kids and all because I want to keep coming back to them. What and participating in these type of events, what has been the biggest maybe change that you've seen in a kid that before was very timid about competing, and then afterwards, what kind of kid did you have?
Man, a lot of times, because whenever we have these events, I normally start up with about 6 or 7 kids that say they want to compete. But come the day of the competition, I got about 2 or 3 because of some of the nerves get to them and
Right.
and so when I'm in the back and I'm warming them up and I'm talking to them, I'm reminding them, letting them know, hey, look, win or lose, just have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not. It's not, and that's what I like about your program, which the winner gets a trophy and then everyone else gets the medal, to let them know that, hey, you participated. You have a lot more. You have a lot more. You're a lot more. You build up a lot more confidence just by going out there and doing it.
Right.
And if you happen to win, great. But if you don't win, you're fine, because the thing is, we're just about making sure that you're having a good time, you're competing, and you're having respect for each other. So that's why I make it a point to, whether my student won or not, I still go over and shake the other coach's hands, tell the other kid that did great, because you're all about, you want to build them up. You don't want to, because you don't want to tear them down, because some kids lose, start crying, and if you start laughing at them, pick at them, or turn your back to them, you scar a kid for life, you know?
Absolutely. I always say we're not about destruction, we're about construction. You know, we're not about tearing down, we're about building up, and the whole program is designed just for that. You know, coming up, next month we got the Spring Classic and everything that is going to be in Myrtle Beach. I kind of mentioned that, but I want to bring it up again because you know, kind of become a part of that. Not only do we use a lot of your people to help out with the event and everything like that, sometimes you have fighters in there, you might have a couple of them, I'm not sure, but you also sell merchandise. At the event. Tell us a little bit about, well, before I go into that, I want to say, with the East Coast Classic and the Spring Classic, and you knowing we've been working together, what, five years or so, what do you think that has done to this region, if not the whole coast, for the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing?
To be honest, I every time I go to one of the tournaments, especially like the one we went to in Georgia, which was a really nice venue, my people are still talking about that that event that we went to. But as a whole, it gives people, even though people are training for a particular reason and a purpose, it gives them a bigger purpose, because not only do they get to go out and compete in front of their parents, in front of their family, and display their skills, they get to go to a place they may not normally travel to, like Myrtle Beach or Columbus, Georgia. So it brings that whole, it shows that the martial arts is more than just a hobby, but more of a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of, I'm training in kickboxing, I'm training in Muay Thai, I'm training in grappling. There's competitions at this nice venue with a nice hotel. There's food, there's music. If I don't have someone to wrap my hands, if I need a cornerman, if I need supplies, it's there. People, I mean, the feedback that I get from the fighters when they come out, like they come over and they see that table, they're like, oh man, thank you so much. I'm glad y'all are here. You know what I'm saying? So it really helps. And I can only imagine years from now what it's going to do for this region. So
right, no doubt. Well, again, you mentioned about the supplies and all, and you sell the supplies there, and one of the things about the supplies, that not just the supplies, one of the things that I'm glad that we have this relationship is about the logo stuff, the stuff with the name that you're able to print, the Muay Thai and kickboxing and boxing on caps and hats and stuff. Is there a way that you can have that at the event?
Oh, definitely. I'm actually bringing, because I know you made a joke last time. Anytime someone tells me I don't have something, you better believe I'm gonna have it next time. So when I'm going to these events, I know what the guys want to wear, because it's the same thing I want to wear. And a lot of times, the stuff that you're looking for when it comes to Muay Thai or kickboxing, it's either generic or you just can't find it. So I went out and just made my own. So I make my t-shirts, I get my hats embroidered. So we have the stocking caps and knitted caps. We have the ball caps with Muay Thai and kickboxing on them. And
let me just insert right there. That is so huge. And see, what people don't understand is that, like, before there was mostly, like, you'll see MMA. They don't understand that's a part of my plan, right? Is to brand the names of Muay Thai and kickboxing. I was just talking to somebody about some billboards over in Myrtle Beach, believe it or not, because those type of things, right, are so important for putting that in the front, in the eyes of people, millions of people across the country, and then that begins to help them start saying those words, Muay Thai, kickboxing, reading, and it's subconscious at first, and then they see a gym or they see an activity that's going on around. Hey, let me go and check that out. But that part about wearing the name of what you do on you is what I've done all my life, but it's so important. So that's why one of the reasons why you're an intricate part of the building of the Muay Thai and kickboxing in this community, in this region, is because of that one thing in particular, because of that branding now that we're able to do by putting our names on product and all. So that is huge. What other kind of equipment do you sell at the tournament?
We sell the Thai ointment that fighters use, you know, to help get them warmed up for the fight.
Right.
Elbow pads, gloves, hand wraps, shin guards, mouthpiece, headgear, pretty much anything that you can think of that you'll need to actually perform that day, from your uniform, cups, and sometimes I'll have fighters reach out to me knowing I'm going to be there, and they'll request me that I bring certain items. So I try to make sure I have that ready as possible, because we want to make sure that, especially when it comes to the safety items, we want to make sure that they have that. And then a lot of times, fighters who have the equipment, by the time they get there, they just want a different color. They want something new, or their equipment might be kind of wore out, or they forgot to pack the mouthpiece, whatever the case is. Try to bring everything from head to toe that they could possibly need and more.
Well, and I noticed one thing that, you know, people who kept talking about it, but nobody was hardly bringing it still, buckets. You went out and bought a bunch of buckets.
You taught me years ago about the buckets, man. So we bring buckets. I bring ice bags so they can put the ice in. You know,
the safety goggles,
everything, the whole nine. So I got it loaded up, man.
Hey, I was wondering, do you have like toothpaste? Look, when I mentioned this, look, maybe I shouldn't say this. Hey, look. Hey, toothpaste and some floss and maybe some mouthwash. Hey, watch it at the next event. You gotta see the
I have ibuprofen.
You do already?
Yeah, man. You get knocked around that ring, get a little headache, man. They need to pop a couple pills. We got it, man.
Boy, you are a hustler. I love that. I love that about you, man. No doubt about it. Okay, all right. So we're gonna wind down here shortly, but I want to do some what I call some flash knockdown rounds, right? There's some quick questions here to kind of just pick your brain just a little bit, you know, to see what martial arts is perhaps, you know, giving you a perspective on or whatever. Okay. So we're going to kind of start it out with, what has martial arts taught you, right, about tolerance?
About tolerance.
Tolerance.
Martial arts has taught me about tolerance when it comes to being able to tolerate a lot. When it comes to tolerating muscular endurance, tolerating different people's personalities, and being able to tolerate being in positions or doing things you really don't want to do, but the outcome is going to be worth it. So it's definitely taught me that.
Do you have an example that's something that sticks out in your mind where you knew for sure that it was testing your tolerance, but somehow you had to call on the better of you, I guess, too?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's been situations where I've actually, before I was at the gym full time, I was at Food Line for about 13 years. And at the last 3 or 4 years, I was a store manager. And I would ask my people not to do it, but it happened all the time. I'd be in the back busy doing something. Only call me if you need me, because I promise I'm not on break. I'm working hard as I can.
Right.
All the lines get backed up into the aisles. We need a store manager up front, please. Jerome, come up front. Mr. Robinson, come up front, please. So I'm power walking up front. I get up front. I see 100 people, and they're staring. Now I got 200 eyeballs looking at my every movement across the front end.
Right.
And the amount of calmness that you have to not snap is like, why did y'all wait so long to call me? Or you have a loud, irate customer who's tapping on the counter. I need to speak to him. And one story in particular, I think at one store we ran out of pies during the holidays, sweet potato pies or something like that.
Right.
And this guy was upset. He was livid, man. He had a rain check for the pies. We didn't have the pies. He was arguing. He wanted to talk to the manager. I'll come up there, and I wanted to open up a register to get the lines down, but this guy's up front looked like he's about to blow the front end up. So I had to go address it first. And so when I was talking to him, and I told him, sorry, sir, I don't order the pies. I don't know if my frozen food guy didn't order them or the warehouse is out of stock, but I can find out. And if you leave your number, I'll call and let you know. And he said, well, it's mighty funny. You got time to teach concealed weapons class?
No. He came at you like that?
Listen, Johnny. So 2 weeks prior, the local newspaper did a story on me teaching concealed weapons class. and they put me on the front page of the paper.
No way.
But when they did the story when I was at Food Lion in my uniform holding the scan gun. So they kind of me holding the scan gun is like me doing the gun class. So they kind of tie that into the story. So he was mad because he said, all I do is teach concealed weapons classes instead of order the pies, you know what I'm saying? But it was very easy for me to get into a physical verbal altercation with the guy. And I'm like, sir, again, I just act like he didn't bring up the concealed weapons class. I said, again, I'll check on the pie situation. If you like, I'll give you a call. And he just stormed out of there. So yeah, you definitely have to be able to.
So you think the martial arts kind of basically kept you calm and taught you, okay. What about gratitude? What has the martial arts taught you about gratitude?
When it comes to gratitude, when I teach my students, is always using good manners. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. And for me, I actually learned this from one of my previous managers at Food Lion and one of my martial arts instructors. Even though I'm talking to my students who might be 4 or 5 years old, I still say yes, sir, and no, sir, and yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Come on the mat. No, sir. Back up. I need you to back up.
Right.
And in turn, they do the same thing for me. So then we're doing that to each other. And so now that's able to transmit outside of their daily life as well as what I do in my daily life. So it helps. I appreciate it more when I see that I pass on something, and I'm grateful that they're passing on as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not just stopping with them. It's continuing. So.
And the final question on that is, again, I'm always trying to change the world, for the better. Yeah. What has the martial arts taught you about diversity?
Diversity is definitely showed I've seen I can honestly say I've seen more people from different backgrounds be emerged together than I've seen. I didn't play any sports coming up in high school and stuff like that. But when I look at the sports, basketball, football, baseball, and I see that diversity, those players coming together,
right?
It's still for a season. You know what I'm saying? But with martial arts, like I tell the parents when they call, it's like, well, when can I enroll my child and how long do y'all go? I said, ma'am or sir, we train all year round. This is what we do. Whether if your child is playing another sport and comes back and takes a break, we'll still be going. So to be able to see that diversity in the gym with my clients and see it when I see other gyms and know that those people, they're not faking the funk. They really love each other regardless of the background, and they're doing it all year round. It's not for a 2 or 3 month period,
Right. What would you say? One more. What would you say God has taught you about faith?
Faith.
Whatever, wherever you want to go with it.
No. It's definitely helped me with faith, because a lot of times if you try to solve a problem that's in front of you and you can't solve it and it keeps you up late at night, and you have faith and hope and prayer or whatever it is that you're just, whether it's religious or spiritual for someone, when you put your energy to it. For me personally, when it comes to martial arts, if I put my energy towards something and my thought process on something and I can't figure it out and I really want to solve it, once I've got done a martial arts training session of about an hour and a half of sweating, punching, and kicking, I'm to the point where my body's so relaxed. It is what it is. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. So it definitely helps me from a mental health standpoint to have faith that I'm just going to put positive energy toward it and then let it happen. Hopefully the best outcome will come. So
really quick though, when we talk about faith let's say from a religious standpoint or a spiritual standpoint, you have different people with different backgrounds that come to your club, and a lot of people are ostracizing or will ostracize people or whatever because of their faith and their religion and stuff like that. How do you handle that in your club and in your life?
So I've actually had conversations with clients who they're from a particular faith or religion, and there might be another client that has a different viewpoint on something like that. So when people come to me, because I guess when they get my opinion, they might want my opinion to override the other person's opinion. And I tell everyone, hey, I don't care what your background is, whether it's spiritual, religious, or whatever it is, as long as you're not disrespecting someone else, then I'm all for it. I'm all about making sure everyone feels included as much as possible. So
Right, right. So, but when you do, you have like some clubs put the faith out front. You know, in other words, they say we are a Christian-based club, or we
oh,
are
no, I
Muslim-based
don't.
club, or we are whatever. What are your thoughts on people doing that?
When if someone feels strongly and that's their conviction that they want to do, I'm all about it. I personally don't do that because I don't want anyone to feel like coming in the door they're excluded because they don't see their logo represented or they feel like I'm pushing something or trying to push something on them. You know what I'm saying? So if I get to know someone over time and they ask me, how I feel about certain things, I give my opinion. But to put out there we're a faith-based organization and this is what it is, I personally don't do that. No, sir.
Right, right, right. One of the things I try to do with my organization is try to, like from the one, if you go on the website right now, I talk about like no political wear,
Yep.
like people supporting red or blue or whatever, obviously. But it's okay to wear your flag. We live in a country, right? But keep it even with the things that have been made political, like Black Lives Matter or whatever. I try to keep away from that and stick to the martial arts, right? What do you think about that? I mean, do you think as an organization, and mine is a little bit different because it's dealing with a little bit more vast amount of people, and all of someone actually said that's my stance on it. But what do you think about it? I've never really asked anybody's opinion because I really whatever. But what do you think about it?
I actually had a client that asked me about making a shirt, and on the shirt, my logo's TR, right?
Right.
So you can add 3 letters to it, and what would that spell?
T
TR.
TR could be a lot. It could be
TR.
TRUE. It could be true. It could be a lot of things.
It could be Trump.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm the same way I wouldn't do a faith-based blah blah blah. I'm not going to push one agenda, whether it's Republican or Democrat, because then you open up a whole nother can of worms of people wanting to have debates, and then you forget the whole reason why we're here. We're here for the martial arts, fitness, and having a safe space for people, not for people to come in and feel like they're being criticized or ridiculed and not want to be here. So I encompass it. And a lot of times my clients tell me all the time, it's like this place feels more like a family than a gym, and I just love how everybody feels so welcome. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, right, right. Well, like I said, I mean, I think you're right on track with that, and that's one of like with all this political stuff that's going on, and all of that. A lot of people have kind of just really divided, And so my goal is in martial arts that we are martial artists first, right?
Yep.
And we need to put that forward. So when I say at these events, I had someone the other day when they saw on there that I had no firearms, no unauthorized firearms in the place. Now, listen, if it's concealed, you don't know
Mm-hmm.
anyway. But the bottom line is, no, like you're not open carrying and all that. I just think that is a level there of intimidation that we don't need at the tournament, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, as a
Yeah, yeah.
as a
So,
firearms instructor, I definitely agree with that statement. When I know I have friends of mine who've done open carry and they agree with the open carry. Me personally, I do not see the point in it. If I'm a bad guy, I always put my even though I'm a good guy with no criminal record, I always put my mindset in the mindset of a bad guy. If I was a bad guy and I'm hungry and starving, I'm looking for food to eat, and I walk into an establishment, and when I say food to eat, that means not just food, but any type of assets that I can redeem to take care of myself and my family. If you're wearing a gun, I got to take you out first.
right,
You know,
right,
you're
right,
you're
right.
you're a
So
big target.
even though you are into that culture, if you will, there's another level of respect for other people that's there too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
really,
definitely,
really
definitely.
important. Anyway, like I said, I told you I'll just kind of go around in some different areas here today. Finally, tell us a little bit more about your gym and what you do as we close out here today, Jerome.
We are
Where's it
located.
located, etc.
Yes, sir. We're located in Sumter, South Carolina. We have the largest martial arts gym in Sumter, which I'm extremely proud of because maybe about 10 years ago, I was in my garage, which was 300 square feet. So right now we have a 7,000 square foot facility. We teach classes from hip hop dancing class to kids MMA, adult MMA, grappling, kickboxing. We have fitness classes. We have personal trainers, and we're open 6 days a week. We do private sessions on Sundays, and we're always looking for ways to improve our clients and my coaches, as well as myself. we're always furthering our training so we can offer more to ourselves and more to our clients. So we definitely enjoy it. We invite people to come down. The first class is free to try it out. There's no pressure and obligation to sign up. And if something that you want to do, we'd love to have you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, look, brother, I definitely appreciate you and, your mindset and being a positive role model, as well as, all the help that you give me at the events and stuff like that. I certainly appreciate you taking a moment and chatting with Johnny Davis Live. All right, brother?
Sure, no problem.
All right, talk to you later. All right, take care, man. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. They're speaking with Mr. Jerome Robinson there of Robinson MMA. Really a great fella, guys. He's doing some really, really good things and everything. And I certainly do appreciate him, being a part of the show today, as well as helping out with the events. He's a big part of us growing the events here in this area, and is so, so appreciated. Look, I want to thank you guys for, again, watching us today. We're almost getting ready to go down to Florence, South Carolina. Got a nice tournament over there with IKEA Point of Muay Thai kickboxing sparring. We also have grappling going on tomorrow. There's going to be some nice awards given away for that. And then on Sunday, we will be in Indian Trail, North Carolina, there with the 4M, or Forum, as they say it, fitness or foreign martial arts. I don't know what is fitness or martial arts, but with the Davis Fleming. So it's going to be really fun on Sunday as well. So got a busy weekend ahead of us, and we're going to get that party started as soon as I'm off right now. Hey, guys, again, thanks so much for watching another edition of Johnny Davis Live. I hope that you guys will continue to wear your mask, get a vaccination too. I didn't get into Jerome with that. That's another story. But hopefully, everybody, we will get through this thing, move forward, and get back to some type of normalcy. Listen, guys, that's all I have for you today. Always respect each other and forward march. This is Johnny Davis Live, and I'm checking out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.